Well, a couple of weeks ago, we were working on the Thruxton R over there, and we got the wrong brake pads. Remember that story?
I only ran into one problem. Is it's a first world problem actually. It's the replacement disc brake pads. Well, since when I said first world problem is because I have another motorcycle, Tiger, and I bought that recently from these guys. And so when I went in to order my disc brake pads, um, even though I said Thruxton, I guess everybody was thinking Tiger.
Well, we got the right brake pads now, so we're going to continue on with the replacing the front and rear brake pads. So stay tuned.
Meerkat. I can see I've got the new brake pads put into the caliper there. Let me show you how they kind of fit. This pad goes to the inside and goes down, and there's two pins that come through this hole right here. So you push the piston back with your finger and push it back in there. So you put that in and just slide the pin in through the first set of these holes. Then you put this one in, and what it does is it mounts around this piece right here and push that down. There's a little spring in there, so you push it down. Then you push the pins through the holes, these holes here, and get it finger tight.
Don't you hate it when you are doing a job and you find a piece and you don't know where it goes to? That happened to me. This is a little piece I found.
It turns out it goes here. Right here where I got the pencil pointed. Goes right in there. Oh my gosh. Well, if you ever find that piece when you're doing something, that's where it goes. Well, through much fiddling and me finding a part that I didn't know where it went to, and finally finding out where it went to, Jim Dandy now has a new set of rear disc brake pads, finally. And everything's on. Chain is adjusted. I got new rear sprocket, another rear sprocket, the stock rear sprocket back on for Mr. Bill. Then got the stock chain guard on. So the only thing we have to do is fit the two sets of front disc brake pads, and hopefully it'll go much smoother. I might need your undivided attention on that though. All I did to get the pads out here was kind of push the open, put a screwdriver and kind of prise back on the pistons to loosen it up, then just push the pads to the side here, to this little opening here, and lift them out. Seems too easy. It's a little more fiddly putting them back in. You got to keep the spring here pushed up against that, and you have to kind of push them down into that spring and kind of hold it in place. Then it kind of fits on there pretty easy. I'll probably forget that next time too. I find it hard for me to push the pistons back in with my fingers to where they need to do. So I've just been gently using a pair of vice grips. Just kind of set it on the edge and gently squeeze it so they get all the way closed. Well, after getting my bike done here, I've got the new front disc brake pads on the brake side and on the clutch side to complete it. It's a little easier the second time. It's kind of important to kind of hold it spring in place. It's right here. This, I don't know if we're getting focused on this. The spring here to hold that in place, can kind of push down in order to get the pads in there. Compressing the pistons all the way is kind of necessary. Looking at the book, you can see that only the front minimum for the front pads is 1.0 millimeters. All my pads were from let's see, on the front were actually 3.19 or 3.01 on one side to 3.27 on the clutch side. On the brake side, it was a little bit less. I don't know, a little uneven wear there. It was 2.16 to 3.25. So technically they were all in spec. The back was in spec. It was 0.152 to 2.05. But it's been 5 years. And let's see, 5 years and 4 times out in assault. So it's a good idea for me to change them out and also kind of clean the pistons out and the area out with some brake cleaner and toothbrush. I took it for a test ride. It seemed like the front was a little spongy there. I checked the reservoir in the front. It's a little low right there, so I'm going to put a little .4 in there. I didn't have to bleed the brakes. It's just fine. It was just a little low on brake fluid, just a tiny bit. The back brake feels a little wooden right now, but I've probably got some cleaning material that's still on the rotor, so that'll probably be just fine after I do it. They don't make any noise. They stop. They need to be bedded in right now. So I don't suggest maybe you do it the way I did it. I'm just showing you what I'm doing here on this bike. So this is the Flat Cap Cafe Racer on the Just Dad channel, saying I'll stay tuned. We do have some things coming up with, I think I just put day 3 out of there, and I got day 4 on the Flat Cap Cafe Racer channel coming out tomorrow, I think. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.